at the time when that movie came out, Mr. Mom, everyone sort of thought, well, it's a bit of a gender bending and role reversal. Well, it's a big reality, of course, nowadays, with fathers taking time off, more time off to spend time with their children. And there is one BC man that is suggesting to a human rights tribunal that he should be eligible for the same type of benefits that mothers and gay men are entitled to. Break this one down for us a little bit. I'm joined in the studio by Robert Samery. He is a director with the Canadian Association for Equality. Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
Okay, so tell us what Alexander Angus, he's filed a human rights complaint in the province of British Columbia for what?
He wants the same rights that women, mothers, and gay men, fathers, have in that province when they become parents. They are given a certain time and a certain amount of money for staying at home with their child.
That's right.
He was denied that, not because he was a parent, but because he was a father in a heterosexual marriage.
Okay, so it is something that, you know, if you go through maternity leave, you get, you know, half of your salary. Some employees choose to top that up, maybe putting you at 75% or 100% for that 1 year or however long you're taking time off to be with your child. That's on a maternity leave type of basis. Same with that as a paternity leave. Would that be the same? If it's a gay couple, they get paternity leave.
They get paternity leave. There are a couple of things that happen. There is maternity leave and there's parental leave.
Okay.
Maternity leave happens because it's women who give birth,
Yeah.
women who have a medical condition,
Yeah.
and women who have to recover from that medical condition. That's the maternity leave.
Yeah.
The parental leave is because the child needs attention.
Okay.
And the child's attention can be taken care of by either a man, a woman, a mother, or a father. Two
Right.
fathers, two mothers.
Sure, okay. Were you surprised, though, that this went to a human rights tribunal?
I wasn't surprised that it went there. I was shocked that it's continuing there. These things
Because
go
usually they
there.
just dismiss them out of hand.
These things go there periodically, and before they even get to a tribunal, they're dismissed as, there's nothing here, we can't help
Okay.
you, go somewhere else.
Why do you think that this one is different?
I think things are changing. I think people are seeing fathers, men, in a different light than they have been in the last 40 years or so. And they're recognizing that fathers can be discriminated against as well without taking away from how much mothers or women are discriminated against as well.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think attitudes have changed. I know we're on the days before we celebrate Mother's Day, but we also celebrate Father's Day for a reason too.
That's
and you know, family structures change. Things alter your life all the time. I think this is interesting for this guy, Alexander Angus. I think it's an important fight to have. Even if he loses, at the very least it puts this issue, I think, at the forefront simply because we forget about this. Like, we always think, you know, it's the fathers, they're tough guys, you know, what could they possibly need, you know, this extra benefit for? You know, they're already working. Why should they be entitled to it? They gotta be tough.
We shouldn't be discriminating against fathers, but
Yeah.
if we do, the common thinking is, well, they can suck it up. They're
Yeah,
tough, and
yeah,
they
you can deal with it.
handle it.
Yeah.
I think what this brings up, though, is not just the discrimination against men and against fathers, but how important it is for a father to be in a child's life. There are lots of studies that have been done showing why fathers are important in a child's life. Recently, Richard Warshak, a professor at the University of Texas, came out with a study that showed that young children, who are often thought to be far better off in the care of their mothers when they were young, don't do so well with single parents, with single mothers, but benefit much more with fathers being there half of the time, mothers being there half of the time. That study was endorsed by 110 very high-profile other people. There are lots of studies that show how men are necessary in their children's lives, and if they're not there, the consequences that those children suffer through, not just emotional consequences, but societal consequences. The vast majority of people in prison
Yeah.
are fatherless.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing to mention. I mean, it's a constant discussion that we have. Now, I know a lot of people get uncomfortable with it, and you can be called all sorts of names if you point out these sometimes what is glaringly obvious to society, but talking about them doesn't make people comfortable. It makes them squeamish, and it's not nice to say those sorts of things.
The Canadian Association for Equality has put on a number of seminars at various universities, and inevitably, because of the kinds of things that we talk about, and these are the sorts of things that we do talk about, we're called rape apologists.
Yes.
We're called anti-feminists.
Oh
we're
yeah,
called
you
misogynists.
perpetuate the rape culture.
That's
I've
right.
heard all of those sorts of things thrown out. Bottom line with Mr. Angus, what do you sort of anticipate this looking like in the coming days?
I think that he's going to be successful. I think that he's going to win this for the rest of us in Canada.
Okay, well, it's going to be fascinating to watch. We'll have you back and see how it goes. Thanks very much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
That is Robert Samery. He's a director with the Canadian Association for Equality. Have you found Rob Ford? Well.